So continuing our conversation from the last video when we were talking about the matrix, frequency, and vibration, I want to first start this video off by introducing the word neuroplasticity. Now, neuroplasticity is in reference to our ability as human beings to change, mold, and shape our minds as we see fit. We receive information, and that information ultimately, if we accept it into our mind, will shape a particular perspective. If we receive new information, this information can either contradict the first piece of information that we received, or it can go in line with this information. And depending upon how we view this information, it can shape, mold, and continue to form our minds. It can change our minds if this information contradicts what we previously received. So now, talking about the matrix, right? Some people have the perspective that we live in a simulated world, like The Sims or something. Okay, some people have the perspective that we live on a globe, or we live on a flat earth, or we live in an animal, or we live in a person, or what. Okay, all of these concepts are great conversation pieces, but in terms of the day-to-day lives that we all live, like, we still have responsibilities regardless of the shape of the planet that we all have to attend to on a daily basis. So that information, while it can be stimulating, it to me isn't the most relevant. Now, when we talk about redlining, my referencing of redlining pertaining to this society that we live in is speaking about us living in a false matrix, a false society, a space in which ideas and even worldviews are shaped dependent upon outside external forces that don't necessarily, showcase the truth or reality of situations. The president who we currently have in the United States, he coined this phrase, even though this phrase did exist before him, but he made this phrase very popular: fake news. Okay. Now, when we talk about fake news, this, in my opinion, is going in line with that matrix concept. It's not literally about the world being a faked construct. It's really about a worldview being a fake construct. And when we talk about the neuroplasticity of our minds, of our brains, that's how we can shape, mold, and form the worldview to be however we want it to be. So the idea of living in an environment that's been redlined, that it was redlined to honestly give a particular perspective to those living in that environment and those living outside of that environment. But when we are able to recognize that, that's us seeing the matrix. And then when we're able to recognize what we know is right and what we know is not, that's us being able to step out of the matrix and really decide, what do I want to believe? What really is my worldview? If I understand that circumstances were created and set up to look a particular way, does it mean that's actually how it is? And that decision is mine alone. That neuroplasticity concept. Now, all of that goes into your vibration or frequency. And we'll talk more specifically about those concepts, but I want to first really hone into the idea of whatever view we have has been mostly prescribed and given to us. And you can decide whether or not you accept that view or whether or not you want to create your own view, because the neuroplasticity of our minds gives us the ability to really shape our own worldview. That's it for this video. I appreciate you for watching. I'm Yakeem Tatum, Mr. 2 Million, saying I hope you have a great rest of your day and rest of your week. And that is all for now. Peace. Peace.